Old McHenry County Courthouse, erected in 1857, overlooks the historic Woodstock Square at the exact geographic center of McHenry County. The copper-clad dome sits majestically at 1,000 feet above sea level, atop one of the oldest buildings in McHenry County. The Old Courthouse is one of the few pre-Civil War courthouses still standing in Illinois. It was designed by Chicago's first architect, John Mills Van Osdel, along with the similarly designed Cook County Courthouse building that was destroyed by the Great Chicago Fire of 1871. In fact, most of Van Osdel's buildings were destroyed, which makes the Old McHenry County Courthouse one of the few surviving examples of his work, along with the Illinois Executive Mansion in Springfield and the venerable Old Main Building at the University of Arkansas. The adjoining sheriff's house and jail was built in 1887, and over the years, as the county grew, several additions were added to the courthouse structure. At the center of McHenry County, literally and figuratively, together these buildings are deeply intertwined in our history. Eugene Debs was famously held here for his involvement in the Pullman strike of 1894, and was known to eat dinner with and even go hunting with the sheriff while he was imprisoned in Woodstock. More infamous prisoners included notorious Chicago gangsters Dapper Dan McCarthy and Hymie Weiss. Much more recently, the buildings have been featured in several major motion pictures. When the county administration moved to a new government center in 1972, a private investor saved the buildings from demolition by purchasing them and establishing art galleries and studios, as well as restaurant and museum space, including the former Chester Gould Dick Tracy Museum. And it was no surprise that the building was issued landmark status by the National Register of Historic Places in 1974. Unfortunately, such a large old building requires a lot of maintenance, and the building fell into disrepair. By 2011, it was clear the building's long-term maintenance and growing repair and restoration needs were cost-prohibitive for private ownership to continue, and the ownership of the building was transferred to the city of Woodstock. Since then, the city has been doing its best to save the old buildings and has been focusing on repairs that will prevent further damage from occurring. The roof of the courthouse was extensively repaired along with the iconic dome, and some much-needed masonry work was done to help stabilize the building. And when the glass literally fell out of a window in the sheriff's house, the city immediately undertook stabilizing the windows in that building. The old courthouse itself has approximately 80 windows, many of which are in dire need of repair. Rotting and damaged wood and cracked panes allow rain, snow, dirt, and critters to cause continuing damage to the building's interior. The ongoing preservation work of this historic jewel is going to require more money than is available through the city of Woodstock. The nonprofit group Friends of the Old Courthouse was established in 2016 to raise funds for the much-needed restoration work. And now, Friends of the Old Courthouse is launching our first campaign, Windows to Our History. We are soliciting financial sponsorship for all of the windows that desperately need restoration to prevent further damage to the interior of this historic building. The window restoration project will be a combination of window frame restoration and window sash restoration and replacement. The cost of the materials and labor to restore these large, unique, historic windows is estimated to be several $1,000s per window. And since there are about 80 windows in the building, several $100,000 will be needed for the entire project. So please sponsor a window. We hope you'll consider sponsoring one or even several windows in this project. Donations of any size are very much appreciated and will be credited on forthcoming materials. Donations may be made in person or online through our website, friendsoftheoldcourthouse.com. The Old Courthouse has a rich and important history, so please help us save the Old Courthouse for future generations. Thank you.